Denzel Washington's career spans more than 6 decades of unforgettable performances, but his ventures into science fiction are surprisingly rare. Among his extensive filmography, only three truly fall under the sci-fi banner: Virtuosity, 1995, Deja Vu, 2006, and The Book of Eli, 2010. While the first two remain curiosities in Washington's filmography, The Book of Eli stands as his most profound exploration of the genre, a meditative, violent, and deeply spiritual post-apocalyptic Western that feels more relevant today than ever before. A post-apocalyptic parable before its time. When The Book of Eli premiered in 2010, audiences didn't quite know what to make of it. The film grossed modestly, earning just under twice its budget, and critics were divided. The movie currently holds a 46% score on Rotten Tomatoes. For a film featuring Denzel Washington, Gary Oldman, and Mila Kunis, directed by the Hughes brothers, Menace to Society, From Hell, expectations were much higher. Yet, time has been kind to The Book of Eli. What was once seen as a grim, uneven action film has evolved into a prophetic, quietly devastating reflection on faith, knowledge, and human resilience. Written by Gary Whitta, who later penned Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and the Walking Dead game series, the film centers on a lone traveler, Eli Washington, journeying through a scorched, lawless America decades after a nuclear apocalypse. He carries with him the last surviving Bible, a relic that many believe could restore hope or be weaponized to control the desperate. When Eli crosses paths with Carnegie, Gary Oldman, a self-proclaimed prophet who seeks to exploit the holy book for power, a deadly philosophical and physical battle begins. Denzel Washington's stoic spiritual warrior. Washington's portrayal of Eli is a masterclass in quiet intensity. He embodies both mysticism and humanity, a man guided by faith but burdened by the brutality of the world he must traverse. In contrast, Oldman's Carnegie is all chaos and ego, a manipulator draped in self-righteousness. The two create an electrifying moral opposition: belief versus exploitation, faith versus fanaticism. What makes Washington's performance stand out is his commitment to the role's physical and spiritual demands. The actor performed all his own stunts and trained extensively in martial arts under Dan Inosanto, a disciple of Bruce Lee. The result is a series of action scenes that feel both balletic and brutal. Every swing of Eli's blade is purposeful, every move steeped in conviction. And then there's the film's twist, one that reshapes everything the audience thinks they know about Eli. Unlike cheap narrative tricks, this revelation deepens the story's meaning, transforming its ending into something deeply emotional and quietly transcendent. Why The Book of Eli feels more urgent than ever. Beneath its dust-strewn landscapes and apocalyptic tone, The Book of Eli is a story about the control of information and the dangers of erasing history. Carnegie's lust for the Bible isn't born of faith, but of domination. He understands that the power to dictate belief, to rewrite and weaponize knowledge, can create a new kind of tyranny. That idea hits closer to home today than it did 15 years ago. In a world increasingly defined by censorship, propaganda, and book bans, Eli's mission, to preserve the last written truth, feels chillingly prophetic. When truth becomes scarce, power fills the void. Just as Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451 warned against a world where books are destroyed to maintain control, The Book of Eli shows what happens when sacred texts, or any record of human knowledge, are wiped from existence. The film's dystopia isn't built from monsters or aliens. It's built from our own apathy and arrogance. A second chance for a misunderstood masterpiece. In a twist of fate, The Book of Eli is set to rise again. A prequel television series has been greenlit, with the Hughes brothers returning to produce and writer Gary Whitta back to expand his universe. The show will explore the years before Eli's pilgrimage, detailing the fall of civilization and the beginnings of his divine mission. John Boyega has been cast as the young Eli, and it's an inspired choice. Boyega's history with genre-defining sci-fi projects, from Star Wars to Attack the Block and They Clone Tyrone, proves he can balance action with introspection, much like Washington did. The series has no confirmed release date yet, but anticipation is building, especially among fans who rediscovered the 2010 film in the age of streaming, reevaluating a sci-fi Western classic. The Book of Eli may not have been a commercial success in its time, but today, it stands as one of the most thematically potent and visually distinctive post-apocalyptic films of the 21st century. It's a story of faith and knowledge in the face of decay, of conviction tested by chaos, and of one man's unshakable belief that enlightenment, not power, will rebuild the world. In a cinematic landscape overflowing with spectacle, The Book of Eli remains something rare, a movie that uses the language of science fiction to speak about something profoundly human. And in today's climate of misinformation and cultural amnesia, its message resonates louder than ever.